I love kids, Charlie! I love kids!
So because you clicked on a video about Boris and the Dark Survival, I'm assuming you're at the very least familiar with Benny and the Ink Machine, and if you don't know what Boris and the Dark Survival is, because it flew under most people's radars, let me explain what it is. Boris and the Dark Survival is a spin-off of Benny and the Ink Machine, made between Ink Machine and Dark Revival, where you play as Buddy Boris, the same one from Chapter 3, trying to survive by scavenging through levels of Joey Drew Studios. As mentioned before, many people kind of just ignored this game or judged it too quickly, thinking it was a low-effort cash grab, but I'm here to defend it, because in reality, this really good game hides under the exterior of a boring premise. The main gameplay of Boris and the Dark Survival consists of Boris going down his service elevator near his hideout, or whatever the fuck you want to call this, fuck you, to scavenge for food and items to survive. Your objective being to collect everything on your list before the enemy catches you. I say the enemy because there's actually multiple threats you face in the game, but we'll get to that later. Sometimes you'll find audio logs from different employees, and occasionally you'll find these weird holes in the walls that show ominous things on the other side. Throughout the floors of the studio, you'll find lockers, toilets, and at times dead Boris clones, with collectibles and items inside. There's a light amount of resource management in the game when it comes to the stamina bar, because you can always find tasty eats vending machines to refill it, but they aren't necessarily common, so if you run into an enemy and can't outrun them, or reach a little miracle station in time, then that's the end of your run. Throughout the game, you can find collectibles that unlock playable characters, enemies, and some other stuff. We'll go over those starting with the most random to the most important ones. There's a bone that you can collect and have your Boris have the bone in his mouth while you play. There are 6 tunes you can collect to listen to, and 4 dances to use while you listen. The most fun unlock is easily the pachinko machine, unlocked by collecting 4 fuses. And if you beat Wally Franks' score, being 15, you unlock a Joey Drew audio log. What? If you collect a certain number of paper scraps, you unlock a lost one as a playable character, and if you collect 4 candles and a bendy cutout mask, you unlock Sammy Lawrence as a character. Collecting 5 tapes and a key from a scared employee hinting at her entrapment in a dungeon leads you to opening the dungeon and realizing the employee was just Alice Angel trying to lure Buddy Boris. And from then on, when you unlock her, she becomes an enemy. Similarly, getting 5 keys allows you to unlock the Butcher Gang as enemies. And lastly, collecting 7 scraps of paper unaffiliated with the previous ones, you get the ending of the game where Boris tries to recreate his human form with these scraps in a grotesque mural. Not really a collectible, but unlockable. Playing a certain group of instruments in a certain order, you can unlock a log which actually introduces Wilson from the Dark Revival. Oh my god, they had this plan the whole time! The game actually introduces both Wilson and Nathan Arch. This is their first appearance. There's specific level types in the game which spawn different enemies. The default is the Ink Demon, which you play the regular gameplay that I've went over. The next is Alice Angel levels, which aren't any different besides featuring Alice, and the same thing goes for the Butcher Gang levels, but you face 3 of them instead of just 1. And the only actual different type of level are the Projectionist levels, where you have to collect inky hearts just like in the first game. Hopping back over into the hub, there's a couple of logs from a dance teacher named Lamont. As far as I'm concerned, she's not really important, but she's definitely here. In terms of players and enemies, there are 3 players and 5 enemies. The player characters include Boris, a Lost One, and Sammy. The enemies consist of the Ink Demon, Alice Angel, the Butcher Gang, and the Projectionist. And one that I failed to mention until right now because I wanted to save the best for last. Borkus, being just Boris but with yellow eyes, is a special enemy that only spawns on floor 414. Oh my god, the bendy number! This floor only has a 1 in 3,000 chance of showing up in your game, so it's pretty rare. Borkus is literally just Boris with yellow eyes. There's really nothing else to it. He's really not that important, but I just really like him, so I saved him for last. He's like Cinny, but for Boris. Anyway, to close out this quick video, the game is really good. This part is unscripted, by the way. The game is really good. It's so worth $2.99. You should get it, especially if it goes on sale. It's really fun. It's really worth it. And I can't wait for Lone Wolf to come out. So yeah, I might remake this video in the future once I refine my editing style and, you know, get a little bigger on YouTube, but I just wanted to make this video because I'm working on a much bigger one that I just wanted to take a little break from. So for whoever's watching the first video, hope you enjoyed and hope you stick around.